Hello, geeks. What does it mean to be human? That's a question I hope that will never get old and that we'll never stop asking. I hope, but we'll see about that. And I can definitely say, as we're live here on YouTube, that I'm with some of my favorite humans, all-star humans. I would say they're all-star humans. And so we're going to wrestle with that question. What does it mean to be human through the lens of alien Earth? That's our main topic. But this is a What's New episode, and we will be talking about what we're geeking out on lately and a lightning round of things that are new in the culture that pops that we've been hanging out with and geeking out with over, I've had some time. I needed some time to catch up, and I finally caught up a little bit on pop culture, and we're going to share about that today. So welcome, friends. Welcome to Systematic Geekology. We are on YouTube, and so if you're listening in your earbuds, you're listening to the podcast, you can hop over and see our faces. You can see what humans are part of this roundtable over on YouTube. You know how YouTube works. You can you can subscribe, you can share with friends, you can chat in the comments, all those things. If you have to be watching live right now, chime in. We'll throw your comment up on the screen there and dialogue with you as we're a part of this. And so let's go around the horn. Who do we have here today? Introduce yourself, and then on a scale of 1 to 10, how human do you feel today? Evan, I'll let you go first.
Well, so my name's Evan, and how human do I feel?
Yeah.
More human than human, I guess.
Okay, so on a scale of 1 to 10, what's more human than human, you think?
6, 7. Hey.
Yeah, 6, 7. Look, there you go. Cool. Jill, introduce yourself, and then on a scale of 1 to 10, how human you feeling today?
Hi, Jill Elizabeth, and I am feeling 9. I am feeling very human, very present in my body right now.
Love it. Ryan, how about you, buddy?
Oh gosh, I wish I had such a positive answer, Jill. My name is Ryan Doze, and I just got done with, I think, an 11-hour workday, and I feel barely functional. So, like a 0.5, I'm gonna drag myself through the rest of the day, and hopefully a good night's sleep will get me back to like my normal 4 or 5.
I love that. So 0.5, so you're not like completely non-human. There's still a glimmer of hope. By the end of this conversation, I'm hoping you'll feel more human.
Put it this way. The way I physically feel right now, I would put my consciousness into a different body to physically keep up with the rigors of the world. Sorry, Will, we're not ready to talk into our main topic yet.
Oh, I like the teaser though.
Belay that.
Teaser. He's done some podcasts before. He knows how to tease. He knows how to tease that. Yeah, Leah, how about you?
Hey, yeah, I am Leah Robinson, resident geek theologian. I am not at Ryan's level, but I certainly and am definitely not at Jill's level either. I'm probably like a 3-4. I've been on the computer all day doing like conference organization for AER Southeast, and I know, just when you do just like monotonous work on a computer all day, and like people are like, touch grass, and I'm like, I probably really do need to go touch grass, like actual grass. I need to go roll in the grass,
feel the breeze,
reconnect with my lawn.
Right. It's like, so I'm at probably a 3 or a 4, but I'm hoping this conversation will elevate me to like an 8.
If Jill could share, that'd be great.
That's right. Yes. I love it. Well, hey, folks, I'm Will Rose. I'm one of your hosts here at Systematic Geekology, one of your resident geekologists, and I think I'm at a 7.5. Earlier in the day, I felt like I had what it means to be human is to be busy and have too many plates spinning and not know where to put your attention and energy. Then I'm full human at this point. But on election day, as we're doing this live on election day, part of being human. Let's gather. Let's advocate, let's vote, let's uphold this democracy that we've been entrusted, all those things. So that's how I'm feeling today, and super stoked to geek out with you all. I do want to say encourage you to rate and review the show. It really helps our algorithms. Want to big shout out and thank you to John Augustine. Man, it was cool hanging with you at Theology Beer Camp. Thank you for your support of the show. He's gotten into comics lately. I even mailed him some comics today that he can read. Ryan, I sent him a graphic novel of the God Butcher. Yes, I did. He needs to read. Oh, that's how big of an evangelist I am.
Oh, good.
Nice.
Yeah, and so
you are one hell of a gift giver, Will.
Heck yeah, I am. I think I just went up from 7.5 as a human.
You never given me a gift, Will.
Oh well, yes, I did. We hung out in a influencer room at the Theology Beer Cup. That was a gift in and of itself. More stories of that later. More stories. All right, we got to stay on track. Here we go. You can get your own shout out for less than, or at $5 or more a month. And so if you do that, one of the subscribers on Fourth Wall and be a part of our community, then yeah, you can get your own shout out, and you can even get some merch. And I'm going to make sure that Leah gets a shirt, because she talked about that earlier, that Sheila wants a Systematic Ecology shirt. We're going to make sure that happens. So let's hop over to the lightning round. Here we go.
Yeah.
Boom. There it is. All right.
Why do you keep switching to me?
I know. Yeah, they just want
That's
you.
amazing. Every time you put something up, your face is right
Just
there.
hello.
I know. That's what it is.
But you do look a little scared.
You do. Every time you
Oh.
look like you're in a horror movie, you're like, oh no.
Wait till you hear this. There you go. This is where we go and just kind of talk about things lately in the lightning round of like really fast, quick hits of what's new in pop culture. And I'm going to let Jill take the lead in this and go for it.
Happy to. It is November 3rd. What else is there to geek out on except
Let's see that
the
shirt.
World Series and
Mhm.
my world champion Dodgers? It has been
Oh my
such an
gosh.
exciting October. Games 6 and 7. Oh my gosh. I'm still on cloud 9. That's probably why I feel so human,
Nice.
because Dave Roberts yesterday thanked all the fans. So I feel very responsible for this win. That
There
we
you
just
go.
had.
Thank you. Thank you, Jill.
Yes. So geeking out on that. And because, I need baseball because the world is heavy. And I have needed levity in my entertainment. My husband and I just watched a movie, Splitsville. It's like a slapstick comedy sort of drama that just was ridiculous and absurd and had us like laughing out loud, which is exactly what we need in this moment.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm not a big baseball fan, but man, I do like the World Series, and this one did not disappoint. What a good one that was. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Ryan, what lightning round? What's new with your pop culture consumment right now? Oh, Ryan, can't hear you. Can you guys hear him?
I can't hear him. He's not muted.
I know. Ryan, I can't hear you. Uh-oh.
His kids cut his feed.
I know.
Come back and say.
Evan, we're going to go to you until Ryan clears up his audio.
So the wife and I, we are watching a series that we knew was not going to be completed, but we've heard so much about it, and it's The Wheel of Time, and we're on the final season that's been released, and I've had some mixed feelings on it. It's not the best. It's way too many characters, and there's no time travel, which is kind of surprising. But season 1 was great. Season 2, the finale was a really good closing of the story, and this last season, it's all over the place. I don't know what's going on. It's like I don't know why things aren't happening, but we are trying to get through it and see if we know if we'll like it.
Nice. Evan, can you bring Ryan back in? Is he still there? All right, bring Ryan back in.
He keeps
jumping in and out. His Wi-Fi might be a problem. Anyway, Leah, how about you?
Do we have to bring Ryan back? Really?
I know it's a conspiracy to just bring him in and kick him out.
Does.
Yeah. I mean, he's 0.5 human right now. I think we could bump him up to a 1 or a 2. if you let him back in.
That's
But
true.
yeah.
I
Yeah.
love Ryan. So what am I geeking out on? Well, I think it's pretty clear by my outfit. The world is heavy, and so I love college football. I actually missed the World Series because I was watching college football. I'm a diehard Braves fan as well. So, and I promised myself because of being hurt that I would never support an LA team or a New York team. Being a Braves fan, the Toronto Blue Jays also have hurt me. So I really, it felt like I made the right choice there. But yay. Also, I've been catching up on some horror stuff because it's been spooky season. And I've been digging. Oh, I saw last night, I watched Nope from Jordan Peele because I love Jordan Peele, but it was something that, yay, I did send it in time. That I hadn't seen this one, and it is so completely different, I will say, from the other two that I think he's done. He maybe has done more, but that's in my head. And a Rocky Horror Picture Show, which I am so desperate. I'm like making these pictures are great. Evan, good job. I mean that genuinely. That's a great picture. So I've been trying. It's the 50th anniversary, and I'm really, if I'm an evangelist at any level, it's for like media stuff, and so I've really been evangelizing Rocky Horror to no avail, I will say, so far. But I want to do some theology and Rocky Horror stuff, so that's what I've been geeking out on.
Love it. Ryan, can we hear you now? There you are.
I hope so. I don't know what happened there. Much better. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Evan, can I see my slide? Because I kind of got thrown off there a little bit. I forgotten what I sent you.
Let's just start with this.
Aha, here we go. So I upon the encouragement of Leah Robinson and us talking about horror stuff throughout October, I binged Halloween in the month of October for the first time. I've been a big kind of John Carpenter fan for a while because of his movie The Thing. And I watched Halloween for the first time, and I was like, how have I never watched this movie? It's objectively awesome. And then my sister-in-law, who lives with us, she said, would you ever watch the Scream movie with me? And I'm like, do you mean like Matthew Lillard, Nev Campbell Scream? And she's like, sure, whoever those people are, because she's 19 and she doesn't care. So we watched Scream, and now we're on like the third Scream movie. So yeah, I've been binging a lot of horror stuff, a lot of slasher stuff, and it's been weirdly fun to dig into these franchises. But also, I sit here not even 24 hours from my Milwaukee Bucks beating the Indiana Pacers for the first time this season, and I look forward to many, many more wins against our dreaded rivals from Indianapolis. So yeah, and I guess along with Leah, I also love college football, so I'm kind of waiting for my Iowa Hawkeyes to get their just absolute butts caved in by Oregon this weekend. I could have chosen a different way to say that, Leah, and I couldn't think of one off the top of my head.
Everyone gets their butt kicked in once.
I mean, it's okay. I basically had a heart attack every game that we've played for the past season. So.
Oh man,
but
it's heartbreak and joy. It's why I'm happy for Jill, because the joy of sports is so intense, but like the disappointment is so low.
It makes the wins even better. Like I remember when the Bucks won the NBA championship 4 years ago, it was I cried. It was so intense. And now I'm just like, if we could just like get to the Eastern Finals, that'd be awesome. But congratulations, Jill. That's a great feeling.
Thank you so much. It is. I mean, we've had a really good decade, but this one feels very sweet.
Yes. Mr. Ohtani doesn't hurt at this point.
Not at all. Not at all. So I think someone said earlier, it's a great time to be alive. Like, yes, we get to be alive in the time of Ryan Coogler, but also we're on the planet same time as Shohei Ohtani.
I love it.
Yeah.
Well, I'll share. Like there's, basketball season. I didn't put this in my initial like outline, but yeah, UNC basketball started, and I'm glad because our football team is not great, even though it's homecoming this week. But it is a good feeling when college basketball.
Didn't y'all get
rolls
like
around.
a coach or something that came?
We did.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got a
Doesn't
coach
he-
and a handler.
Just a,
Doesn't he
like
date
a
on the
little
younger
name.
side, Will?
Oh, gosh, here comes the trolls. Let's switch to Frankenstein. Speaking of coaches that are too old, let's talk about Frankenstein. I saw Frankenstein in the theater. This is a Netflix like show or movie made for Netflix, but then they put it in the theaters for like a week to see people, because you really need to see this on the big screen. But it's coming on Netflix. But I like the Frankenstein mythos and where it, 1818. Mary Shelley started the whole goth movement and maybe started sci-fi. I'm not sure if she started it all, but it's pretty close when it comes to this
Known
story.
as having the first horror novel, Mary Shelley. They credit her with that.
Yeah, and I totally agree. And I really like this movie. I wouldn't say it's my favorite. They packed a lot into this movie. They try to pack a lot in. It's a gorgeous movie. I don't know how much it adds to the Frankenstein mythos or what or how it deepens it, but it's definitely an age-old question that I think, again, what does it mean to be human? How do we relate to our creators, playing God? All those questions that novel lifted up that we keep going back to in movie form and show form and comic book form. All that is still there in this movie, and I really like it. So I would definitely we'll talk about recommendations later, but you want to see this version for sure.
Is that the Guillermo del Toro?
Yeah,
sure is. Yep. Absolutely, it is. Yep, and it's got a Star Wars guy in there, Oscar Isaac. I was ready for him to hop in his starfighter and fly away at the end, but that didn't happen. But maybe happen later. Speaking of Star Wars,
comes back around to Star Wars.
It does. Star Wars Visions, the third season of their kind of anime mashup with Star Wars is really cool. I like what they're doing here. I don't know if they are experimenting to see who, like a trial and error, and who's going to get their own series or character, but I love what they're doing, just throwing spaghetti at the wall and see what sticks. And there's a couple characters that could pop back up, but man, I really love this. I'm not a huge anime fan, but I do like cartoon and art and animation. And so for them to do this, just give me a full series with the legacy characters and anime style, and I'm there. I think that's great. And then I saw Tron Ares. I had to go to the theater because I want to hear the music and I want to see light cycles. And Jared Leto, I don't jury's out whether I really like this dude or not as an actor. But if he's listening, you do your craft, you do you. I respect you. But like, I don't. Again, I was there at 82. I was alive. I played the video game. I liked Legacy in 2010. I liked this movie. Is it going to win an Oscars? No. Does it add anything else to the question of what does it mean to be human or AI and tech? And I think Matrix probably did that question better. But I do like the Tron series, and one day hope to ride that light cycle at Disney World. Evan, you're in Florida. You go to Disney a lot. Have you ridden Tron roller coaster yet in Magic Kingdom?
Yes, I have. It is a great roller coaster. It's super cool, but it's so short.
That's what I've heard.
Yep. Yeah, and thanks for reminding me, because I had something else I wanted to bring up, and it's about the theme parks anyway. It's about the Stolen Kingdom. This documentary about the urban exploring at Walt Disney World.
Okay.
And the crazy story of how one of the buzzy animatronics that got stolen, and the straight up a psychopath that held it hostage for like a year from the company. It's a bizarre story, and I saw a screening of it here in Orlando, and like if you guys can find it, you guys should check this movie out. It's super wild and super niche, but it's
weird.
Yeah. What's the platform, or is it like a documentary? Is it like
it's a
on
documentary? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's from these YouTube guys that started doing the old abandoned malls and stuff like that, and now they're starting to write some more feature films and stuff.
Cool. Yeah, I'll put that on my radar.
I'm obsessed with the urban. Is it called urban exploring or whatever?
Yep.
Some of that stuff is like
Isn't
they
it
go into
wild?
Chernobyl and stuff. Like it's
Crazy
wild.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Love it. All right. That's the lightning round. Listen for it. There you go. Let's hop over to the main topic of the day, and that's Alien Earth. Yeah, is it brand new? Did it come out? The finale came out a while back, but I've been wanting to do this episode because I do like the Alien franchise. I do like the movies. I wouldn't say I'm like a super fan, but through Ryan and Leah and some of their work that they've done with the LGBT camp, talking about these things, I've gotten more into it. And as I was challenged to watch Alien Earth, and I was, whenever it came out and dropped on the night that it came out, that was a television for me. I wanted to see what happened next and where were they going to take these things. So I'm pretty excited about this. How do we want to talk about this with 5 of us? I think what I want to do is start out with Leah and Ryan. Where does this stand in the canon, like the timeline? And then I'd like for us to go around. I know Evan's only seen a couple episodes, so he doesn't care about spoilers. We're going to keep doing this. But where does it, after we talk about like where it stands in the canon, what do we think about? I'm curious for Jill and myself and Evan, where does it add to the canon or take away from it? Does it water it down? Is it needed? I mean, nothing's really needed, but like in terms of not only where it is in timeline, but where do we think it falls in the canon? So Leah, Ryan, you guys talk it out. I invite you to be a part of this because you're the experts.
Yeah, it's so historically, I believe it's set before the 1970s, like the Alien.
Mm-hmm.
So timeline wise, it's really a prequel in a way to the original, the OG. It's interesting. We're gonna dig into this later, like in terms of the canon. I mean, I think it fits, like in terms of if we're talking about stuff we've already heard, like Wayland Utonic is there, like we have that. The aliens behave much and such in the way that we've seen in other films. So I don't, I'm thinking about whenever my husband's a big Star Wars guy, it always comes back to Star Wars.
Sure does.
And so anytime he says something like, well, that's not canon. Well, that's not canon, which is so funny for a theologian to hear, by the way.
What a dork.
He's such a dork, but then so are we, right? I mean,
Right.
Like, absolutely. So I always think about that when I hear the word canon about aliens, is like, is this falling into the same sort of world? Like, is it something just strange? Like, you're talking about Halloween, Ryan. There's I think it's it's like one of the Millennium ones or whatever.
The Rob Zombie ones, or okay.
There's one where Jamie Lee Curtis in the later ones, in the ones that have been made recently, makes fun of this film because it basically just like none of it makes sense in terms of the narrative. And she says someone made some fan fiction or something and did a movie about it, and so she plays on that. So I don't think this is doing that. Like, this is not blowing the whole narrative up. Now, you talked about later, is it adding to it or taking away? That part we can dig into. But that's my perspective, is I don't think it's setting fire to anything here. I think it's playing by the rules.
Yeah. Ryan, how about you?
No, it's definitely playing by the rules, but it's playing in a different corner of the universe than we're used to, because we're actually on Earth during all these events. Like the Nostromo, the ship in the first Alien movie, is out in deep space at this point. So that's like, it's almost like it's going, it's a parallel side of, it's playing parallel themes and that with a universe just millions or thousands of miles away from the characters we're the most familiar with. I know we'll probably get into this later, Will, but my favorite episode of the entire show was when they do the episode where they do the plot of the first Alien movie, but in 40 minutes. Like, that was an insanely good episode of just television, period. Because you got all of the classic Alien vibes, but ramped up to 11 and in a more condensed package. And I told Leah this before this show started. The thing I was the most concerned about was how it was going to pace an alien story over multiple episodes, because it had never been done before. We hadn't done that. We hadn't seen that in Predator. We hadn't seen that in Alien. And now we're at this point where we're getting overabundance of media with both franchises right now.
Yeah.
And the TV show was the one thing I was the most worried about, just because of the pacing. And I think they actually nailed it. And I'm sure we'll talk about the finale. The finale was the one thing I had like a slight issue with.
Yeah. I think the episode you're talking about is In Space, comma, No One, episode 5.
Yeah.
The fact that they even shortened the catchphrase for
Ugh.
it's pretty fun too. Yeah, I'm with you. I watched the first episode. I was like, I'm just going to watch the first episode to see what the vibe is and see what it does. It have the feel of Alien and Aliens, the movie. And I was like 5 minutes in, I'm like, yep, it sure does. And that's what kind of locked me in for the rest. Jill, like for you, what's I don't know your history with the Alien franchise. Do you have a history before this TV show and then leading up to the TV show? Where do you think this fits in terms of canon and how that holds up for you?
Yeah, so I actually started with this show. I heard someone on this podcast talking about it, and I was like, all right, I guess I got to check it out. And my husband's huge sci-fi guy. So we watched it, and then I said, well, now I need to watch the movie.
Oh,
so
that's how they get you. Yeah, I love it.
so I almost like in order I watched.
man.
And I think the only like thing that maybe isn't canon, or I just heard, so I work in a barbershop. I didn't say that earlier. So I get to hear people talking about pop culture all the time. And one of the things that came up is there's a couple guys that said they didn't like the show and how it treats canon because it ignores some of the origins from like Prometheus and Alien Covenant. That like they give an origin for how the aliens came to be, and then this TV show kind of ignores it. I don't know because I'm not in that world yet. I've just started. But I do think something that Ryan said earlier about, I think it was Ryan, about the show taking place on Earth and how that already is like so disorienting because we're used to seeing it in deep space. I think it really speaks to the moment that we're in now, that like the horror is no longer out there. It's right here on our doorstep, and we have to deal with it like right now.
Yeah, I agree with you, because the space episode, weirdly, because Ryan and I usually are parallel, it was my least favorite of the season. Yeah.
Tell me more. Unpack that a little bit.
Because I think it's exactly what Jill said, is that the horror was on Earth. You know, the horror was here. It is here. And I think based on where my brain was at, as soon as they took it, and I understood what they were doing, and I'm not saying it wasn't important. They were saying it's still a part of this world. This is what happened. Like, it's still in space, you know. But as soon as they unearthed it, it became something that was out there. And I was like, it was great. And I agree with Ryan about the parallel between showing that in the original Alien in a 40-minute thing. So it gave it a little bit of an origin story and connected it to the OG films. But like, I just watched it, and maybe it was because I've already seen the OG film, but I just was kind of like, no, come back down here. This is where I want to be. So I think for me, it took me out of the story a little bit. I think if they'd done it maybe at the beginning, I would have less of an issue because it would be more of a timeline, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I think I'm with you guys. Like, I wanted to see the vibe. I wanted the vibe of the original movies, and I feel like I got that. And then I like what you're saying. It's not like in space no one can hear you scream. It's like on Earth everyone can hear you scream because we have aliens running around everywhere. And what does that mean that this seed is planted? If the engineers planted life on Earth in one of the prequels, then how are these aliens gonna plant the seed of horror or this race to be like God, to create life? This isn't a Frankenstein movie where they're creating monsters, but they kind of want to. They're going to play around with that a little bit, but then you have like the AI and the tech and the whole Lost Boys and Peter Pan and Wendy and the synthetics and the hybrids, and placing consciousness from sick kids into robots. Right alongside, we want these aliens because we want to do experiments to create the perfect weapon or hybrid with those or create eternal life, whatever that is. I think all that together really kind of held up for me as I watched the show. It was intriguing to me. Now I do, as it gets to the end, a little bit, yeah, my nitpick too, along with Ryan, maybe is that like I felt it was like a setup for another season. I don't know if we didn't have any like closure. They kind of slowed the pace down a little bit because they're like, oh, well, maybe we'll have a season 2, and don't know when that's going to come out. I really want to see some closure or something else there with like you would with like a movie. Like, and that's my annoyance with movies too. If they end on a cliffhanger where are we going to get a second movie? Is that happening? I don't know. But anyway, that's all these things apart on Earth with the trillionaires who are running everything and then experimenting on consciousness and humans. And with these aliens running around that are out there minding their own business, but we're going to co-opt them and bring them down to Earth to see what we can do with them is pretty scary. So I know I said a lot there, but I don't know if anybody else wants to unpack that a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was very much setting up for this. I think the pacing, you talked about pacing, Ryan, and I don't know that they nailed the pacing, especially at the end. Like I found myself being like, okay, this is, come on, you know, and I love a good, like I said, I have a PhD. I'm used to being bored. So it's like, I don't have a really high tolerance for boredom, but like, at the end, I kind of was like, all right, we get it. Like, I felt like it needed to move a little bit quicker at the end. You know, we get it. The bad guys are bad. The kid genius is psychotic. Humans are the worst. They are the new alien. Like, who's worse, the alien or the humans? I think what we see in this story is the humans are worse. I actually do take your point, Jill, about the origin stuff. I don't know that they're giving credit to Ridley Scott's prequels in this. It hasn't come up perhaps yet because no one's dug into where these things came from necessarily, other than a ship from space. But I'll be interested to see if it gets canon, like if it references canon in that way.
Yeah. And don't you think, like, you're asking who's worse, the humans or the aliens, right? But it's kind of like you get that the aliens are a mirror of us in this, more so than the movie, right? Because I only have those two to compare. That's like, oh, well, they have this power to procreate in, like, you know, strange ways, attaching to someone's face and then popping out of their body. But they're just mirroring all of this crazy tech that's happening, you know, on Earth with these corporations and us creating life, sort of human life, sort of hybrid life, but exploiting all of it and destroying all of it.
Yeah, and that picture makes me, I agree with you so much. That picture makes me feel so much because I forgot her name, but the ginger girl, when they wipe her memory and they're just manipulating them, I'm like,
yeah,
we're just doing it to each other now. Like the stuff that we yell at the alien, because the aliens take over our bodies and like, make us different things. And it's like, but we're doing that too, you know?
That actress was so good. She's so scary.
Good. Yeah. Well, how do you think that playing around with the Peter Pan, Wendy, Lost Boys, that theme of what do you think they're doing there with this? I do find it fascinating, Jill, that you watch this first, then watch the others. So seeing this as your first experience with, everybody has their, back to Star Wars, first Star Wars experience, and they watch the others. And then these fandoms that and franchise have been around a long time. You have your entry point and your jumping on point, and then you have like a whole learning curve of what else is out there for that. But in terms of having it as a backdrop of Peter Pan and immortality, not growing up or being kids, but also I don't know, that was intriguing to me too. I love the soundtrack, man. The soundtrack, the intro teaser at the beginning, how I thought it was directed and shaped really well. But what do you guys think about like this whole Peter Pan thing?
Yeah, I'll just jump in. I really, so one of the things that bothers me a lot in movies is when adults play children and they over dramatize how children behave. That,
Yeah.
and especially when you think about that these kids were dying, right? They all had terminal illnesses, which that there's a little bit of maturity that comes from that.
Hmm.
So I actually felt like I didn't like the way that the children, when they had these adult bodies, like couldn't step into adulthood. It's almost like they made them too childish and too immature in the way that it was acted. That was
Yeah.
bothersome to me. But I just love the whole theme of the Peter Pan and how what did they say about Boy Genius? Like he wasn't Peter. He's actually, what did they say? Now
Was
I
he the
can't remember.
pirate? Was he
I
Captain?
think he
Yeah.
said Captain Hook, didn't
Yeah,
he?
Captain
yeah.
Hook.
He's the
Yeah,
bad
he's
guy.
actually yeah.
Well,
Yeah, he's not the boy that didn't grow up who's trying to like make these friends around him. He's actually the evil one.
Yep.
well, it's the point when they realize that he's not actually in it for them. He's not in it to help a dying child to live. Like essentially he's in it to see how far he can go in playing God, essentially.
Right. And I think they only took the dying children because ethically the children were going to die anyway. So it wasn't like they were saving them. They're just keeping, and they told their
Experiments.
families they were dead. Yeah. They were just
Mhm.
experimenting and exploiting these children who would have already died.
And
Which-
and the idea is the end result is I don't know if you remember, but that he's going to charge an insane amount of money for people to do. So you're exploiting the sadness of folks to make money. So he is the villain. I mean, he's not the only villain, but he's one of them.
Yeah, and with her, Wendy connecting back with her brother, bringing him back in and having them connection to see what's left of her, what she is, what she used to be, what she is now, seeing her different body, but seeing her mind, that being there. Evan reminded me that he was also, this comes back to Star Wars, he was also a character in Andor, and he wrote that, like, the manifesto, right? Didn't he write the manifesto? Yeah, that
Yeah,
did all
he
that.
did.
But then again, like this, seeing this or talking about this after seeing Frankenstein so much or seeing it so recently, that parallel of what it means to be human or the monster playing God really, really does is that age-old question that just won't ever go away. Whether you're Mary Shelley in the 1800s writing about this, or here the Alien. The original movie was like this horror film, aliens, what are we doing? But you had some tech there. But here they're really grounding it to Earth to talk about, again, this transhumanism. You see one of the guys has like some tech, but he's still human. He's not a downloaded consciousness into a robot, but he has like a robot tech arm, right? From when he was little or accident that happened. You guys can remind me of that. But the whole idea of transhumanism, what does it mean to be human? What are we doing? And as Jill said, this holding up a mirror to help us explore that with each other, I think does a good job with it. I really enjoy it. So to hear your guys' thoughts on that, and whether that answered that or it helped us, it's not going to answer the question, but it's going to press us to wrestle with it. Ryan, do you think that parallels to Frankenstein or that age-old question, was it mean to be human, along with the transhumanism, links up, matches up?
Let me try. My audio is giving me fits right now, so I apologize. I think your enjoyment of this series will really depend on what previous Alien media you really enjoyed, because Leah knows this very well. Like, Ridley Scott's movies are kind of high concept, like Prometheus and Alien Covenant, very high concept. The original Alien movie is pretty stripped back and pretty simple. It's a slowly zeroing in and isolating one person to find out what do they do when basically the fear of the unknown comes right up to you and there's
Yeah.
no one else there to save you. It's I'm a big fan of the subgenre of cosmic horror. I read the first Alien movie as a cosmic horror because the xenomorph is unavoidable for Sigourney Weaver at the end, which is probably why I enjoyed that episode of them recreating a lot of the beats of the first Alien movie. Because I mean, Leah and I talked about this way too much, so I won't bore anybody. I can share a link to a panel we did 2 years ago at Beer
Yeah,
Camp.
please
if
do.
anyone's
Put that in the
interested.
show notes. Put it in the show notes.
But the first Alien movie is kind of simple. But Ridley Scott's stuff is when he basically tries to retell a creation story. But that's pretty high concept. And Alien Earth, I feel like at certain points, Alien Earth tried to be so high concept that it kind of forgot the really cool, gritty, down to like just those core raw emotions of fear and isolation. Because there's this whole complex of people. I remember talking to Will about this after the third or fourth episode. I'm like, I'm gonna need the body count to go up. Like, there's a lot of people just hanging around. And if I know one thing about the xenomorph, it kind of doesn't wait around a lot. Like, you get halfway through the movie, and then the back half, people start dropping. So I was like, I need the body count to go up because I want to be afraid of the xenomorph. I'm not supposed to like him or root for him. And that's where Will and I kind of discovered our breakout character of the show. It was the little eyeball guy. Having a monster inside of the alien universe that's not the xenomorph that I'm actually more afraid of than the classic Alien was insane to me. I did not see that coming. That little eyeball monster is more terrifying than the scene with the goat. I was like, oh gosh, there's my nightmare. So I loved when they were trying to answer those high concept questions, but at times I was like, okay, I need more of the nitty gritty. And luckily they gave us that. But then I'm gonna come back to the ending, guys. Like, the ending kind of felt like we kind of like ground to a halt, and it was like, okay, what do we do now? I don't know where we're going with this now. It felt like less of a cliffhanger and more of like this is where we leave you for now. And I feel like, okay, that's where I've been left for now. I guess I'll get ready for Predator Badlands now.
Will sent me a message. This is a separate anecdote that just said, I need to know what your thoughts are on the goat. And with no other context. And I hadn't seen the episode yet. So I was like, did Will have a stroke? What is he
Maybe.
talking? What
Maybe.
is he
It's
talking
possible.
about? Because it literally just said, I need to know your thoughts about the goat. And I was like,
Who's the greatest of all
the
time?
greatest of all time? I
Michael
don't know
Jordan,
what.
Ryan, Michael Jordan. Is that what we're
Give
talking?
me a
Kelly
genre.
Slater, the best surfer ever. Who are we talking about? Tiger Woods. Who are we talking about?
I really want to have this fight now.
I know that's right. I'm just pushing buttons. But Lee, I would say, what did you think of the goat when you watched it? Now you can answer that question. I did not have a stroke. It was a legit question.
Well, now I can tell you what I think about the goat now that I have a context for it. I'm interested because that I did look it up. That alien doesn't exist. Speaking of canon, doesn't exist in the canon. It was created by the guy that I can't remember who's the director of this series.
Noah Wiley.
There you go. Him. I think good job. He created that. Mm-hmm. I'm wondering if it's not maybe did you get the impression that it was maybe a good guy? Good character in the eyeball character?
I did not get that impression.
I don't know.
I agree with Bill. I did not get that impression at all. I got evil mastermind vibes from it.
Maybe it's just surrounded by such terrible people that it became a good player in my mind. There were moments where it felt like the eyeball was trying to like warn, maybe, or maybe manipulate. We'll see. It's a thin line between warning and manipulating. So I think it's terrifying. Is it as terrifying as the xenomorph? I mean, they gave it a lot more screen time, I think, than the xenomorph.
Yeah, that's true.
And I like the high concept stuff. So when the xenomorph started just murdering people, like just like taking out a whole like platoon of people. I was like, okay, let's. Because what I do like, because I think they didn't use the xenomorph as well as they could. Like xenomorph is scary in those moments where it's dark and it's around the corner and you're being stalked and it's like, but just to see in broad daylight the xenomorph go out and just kill a bunch of people with guns, you're like
on an island. Yeah.
It's like okay.
Showing a little too much. I will like, even though Ryan like wanted some body count, I am thankful they didn't kill off. Was the alien's name is like Oculus or something like that? Ocellus. How do you pronounce that? PhD person. What is it? Oculus.
Oculus.
There you go. All right. So Oculus,
PhD person.
the eye octopus is what I
got a PhD in how to talk. I'm from Georgia.
That's Dr.
right.
PhD person.
That's right. But I the fact that they survived, this alien survived at the end and possessed a somewhat dead body and walked away, that they're still hanging out in the universe, that they're still out there. So this reanimation again. Frankenstein again.
It knocked on the glass to warn her. It knocked
I know.
on the glass.
These kids that
To
you're
lure
transporting
her.
to lure.
I agree.
Jill
Dr.
agrees
Robinson.
with Ryan. I might
Mr.
maybe
Rose.
convinced.
You wait till that second season when that eyeball comes out and it's like all benevolent. And
It's like,
I'm
gather
telling
around,
you,
kids.
there's a reason
Gather
why he
around,
takes
kids. I'm the
over
real Peter
Darling's
Pan.
body. There's a reason.
Yeah, and the eyeball is what killed that other lost boy. Like, because the goat knocked on the glass and it knew exactly what was going to
warning
happen.
about the beehive.
You are way too
Oh,
optimistic.
No, that
I
wasn't a
don't buy
warning.
it.
That was a let's shut the door and see what happens with that crazy.
I'm here.
Fly thing.
Y'all are probably right. I don't know why in that moment I maybe needed to like humanify it and to make it have human emotions.
Humanize?
Humanize.
I'm the PhD person,
Anthropomorphize.
Brian.
That's true.
See, right there.
I have a
Oculus.
I lured you into your outrage. There, this eyeball
There you go.
tactic.
I do have a question for y'all about the synths. Why do you think they were made so fallible? Like, why do they bleed? They have this like white, ooze that comes out and their bodies can be broken. But the whole point is to like create this indestructible body, but they were not indestructible. They actually went down pretty easy, the 2 or 3 that went down.
Great question.
I think this is what I mean. I'm 0 for 1 right now, so this is my thought on it. I think they were really focused on the brain aspect of those machines, if you want to call them that, and and maybe to some degree the personality, because we see it throughout the movies, especially in the beginning ones, that the synths actually change, their personalities shift, which is something they didn't take into account happening. But I think they wanted to see what they could do with the mainframe, if you will, the brain. And then I feel like the body was almost a secondary thing. Because essentially, they can get put back together. They usually do. At one stage, if you remember, Ryan, it's just the head of Michael Fassbender that exists. Just the head. He still came back somehow. So I think they were more concerned about sort of the hardwiring of the brain than the other bits.
Well, in the Alien movies, there are very few full synths that don't go bad. Like in the first movie, obviously Ian Holm goes bad towards the end, and I would argue he's the actual bad guy. David, Michael Fassbender's character in Ridley Scott's prequel trilogy kind of sort of thing that happened. David is a sympathetic character in the first movie, and then he is much more diabolical in the second one, but he has this God complex justification for it, that if someone created him,
beautiful and diabolical. You forgot.
Yes. But then if you've seen Alien Romulus, the synth that's in that movie is incredibly endearing and sticks up for Rain the entire time. Like the way they reinterpret the synth in the full synthetic persons in these movies is kind of crazy because they just ascribe like almost like a D&D alignment to them. What I find interesting about the hybrids is you take that childishness of the soul and their experience of the world, and you basically put them inside of a super weapon. And like, there's no, I like what Jill said earlier. Like, the factor of maturity, it was so crazy watching these adults play these children. Were so interesting. Wendy is the only one that is kind of well adjusted.
Right.
At a certain point, like one of the girls believes she's going to have a child at some point, and I turned to whoever I was watching with. I was like, that will not end well. I guarantee you, because like they're gonna come up a human want or desire that is in her heart, or she sees something and is jealous of what another person has. That human desire is going to be confronted with her artificial body, and that is going to lead to some very conflicting thoughts and actions. Like the hybrids, the synths are very different. But then there's that other character of the cyborg. We get 3 different kinds of integration with technology, and I am by no means a technologist or whatever the PhD version of that word would be. But I felt the cyborg character was my favorite because he is completely human with an artificial attachment that gets him judged a lot throughout the show, but he's also fully a man, but he has a piece of technology integrated with his body, and he almost gets more judgment than the rest of all of them.
Well, because he's fully a jerk.
Well, yes, there is that part.
And they're like, oh, let's give you like 5 seconds of a backstory where your child died. And it's like, okay, let's not kill everybody because you had a bad day with your kid.
Oh.
But he was also lured. But wasn't he also lured because of like the money and the trillionaire and being on like the job and like that whole like
money completely uses him.
They try to justify it though with like the scenes on the beach. Do we even know what happened to the kid? I don't even know if the kid died. I don't
think so. I think he just left for so many years, right? Because when he was in space, it was like
that is a consequence of living in the alien universe. People die when you live hundreds of years.
Yeah, and there was the best scene between the cyborg Morrow. Is his name Morrow? Yeah.
So.
And the brother Joe, and he's asking Joe, like, how does it feel to have that lung? Because, he has, I guess he's technically a cyborg too, right? Because he's like part machine, part man. And I don't remember exactly the line, but it's like, what, now that you have a piece of the corporation that has saved your life, what is it going to cost you? And he answers, everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ooh.
It was so good, right?
That real world parallel really hits.
Everything. I mean, I know this is a broad stroke, but I honestly was like, what does the convenience of using Amazon cost me? What does the convenience of typing in my questions to AI to get a better, email sent?
Absolutely.
Like, freaking everything.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yep.
Yeah. And I think Ryan's right. I think the people who like this series will be kind of the same people that like, if it keeps going the way that it's going, are the same people that like kind of the lore and the background of Ridley Scott's version of Aliens, because this is it's world building. Like you're right. In the original Alien with Sigourney Weaver, you don't get a lot of world building. Like I remember when I first watched it and they kept talking about Mother, and I was like, why are they calling the computer Mother? And like, it makes total sense now, but like the world building wasn't quite as intense in that one. It was kind of a horror film that was scary, space horror film, as Ryan said. And so I can see the world building that they're trying to do. I don't know that some of the points are getting a little belabored at this stage, which is kind of why I thought the pacing was slow, in my opinion. But also, I think the eye's okay. So.
Well, I just want to piggyback on what Leah said there, because I wanted to make this point earlier, and I was messing with this dumb audio thing. One thing I think Alien Earth did, and Noah Hawley got sold. He gave us an Alien TV show. Thank you. FX gave us an Alien TV show. Awesome. It was overstuffed at points. Like, and it weirdly overstuffed and belabored. It was like, okay, can we move along a little bit? Like, but I want to know more about Morrow's character. I want to know more about Timothy Oliphant's character. Like the boy genius. Like, I want to see him have some comeuppance. Those things, and maybe we have season 2 to look forward to. But also to piggyback on another thing Leah said, if you enjoy this series, go watch your Ridley Scott films. If you're looking for a little bit more intensity, faster paced, you were never going to get that in an episodic show. Like, that wasn't going to happen because of the pacing that we've already referenced. But go watch Alien Romulus, because that thing is a roller coaster that doesn't let you go. And Fede Alvarez is like the king of reinventing old, like, 80s horror stuff for a modern, for a modern viewer, having that, like, respect of the genre and of its themes. But Alien Romulus was
like Ridley Scott and the originals had a baby. I feel like.
Well, and Ridley Scott was he was a producer on Alien Romulus.
Totally makes sense. He produced it, and then he gave it to this horror guy and said, "Let's do it," and it shows to me.
Evan and Jill, were you able to watch Romulus? Was that in your bandwidth? Not yet.
Oh, yay! You're gonna be so excited. Not as excited as the dog.
Third act of that movie is crazy.
Okay,
yeah, I haven't. Yeah, I watched the beginning and then didn't finish just because life got ahead. But it's definitely on my list. I need to focus in on.
It's
that
good
one.
as a standalone. I think, I think you could watch it as a standalone.
Nice.
Yeah, it's not a lore heavy movie. It's just an adventure. To borrow something Will and I talk about a lot. It's a one shot.
There you go.
You know what the xenomorph looks like? That's all you really need to know.
Well, like, in terms of any last things, if there's something about this, Jill, Evan, others, like something that, if you go to bed tonight and you're like, man, I wish I said this about Alien Earth. Why didn't I say this? You could always chime in the comments. You could always follow all those things. There's my church phone. I don't know who's calling at 5:30 at night, but anyway, anything there that you want to make sure we discuss or themes that we don't want to lose?
I don't like that she can talk to aliens.
Oh, you don't like it that Wendy,
I don't like it that Wendy. I talked about this in our horror thing. As soon as a horror villain becomes something you can control, it loses its scariness. And so that's the final point I just want to put out is I don't like that she can call it like a dog. Like my dog, then it just comes and kills everybody but her. It's not my favorite, but that's all.
Mm-hmm. It's a lot like that theme of control and hubris and superiority is like, Boy Genius thinks he can control these hybrids that he made. They're not going to be controlled. She might think she can control that alien, but actually I don't think she does. Like, she talks to him and then she says, I think that's what I said. So it's like,
it hasn't murdered her yet, but
right.
Yet
like that power, and can you control the power, but probably not. Cool theme.
Yeah, I like that too, and as Ryan was talking about, like putting these children inside these bodies that are like super strong or superhuman and have like a superpower to like, so what are you going to do with that strength? What are you going to do with that power? What are you going to do with that? And I think again, it hits close to home to earth in terms of what we're wrestling with now, but in terms of what you do with power and influence and your money, do you keep these corporations keep accumulating, consuming other beings and things so they can get more and more money and then power and control. And what is the humans or those who are have their feet in the grass or who are just medics trying to help people that are injured? They're the ones who are victimized, the ones who are kind of caught between it all. It was interesting that one alien scene where they're just killing everybody in that like party maybe it was a Great Gatsby party. I don't know if it was or not, but like in terms of
Low-key,
like,
one of my favorite scenes in the whole
yeah,
series.
but like just murdered everybody, and so you're kind of like, okay, maybe they deserve, but who you're pulling for, who you're rooting for in these movies? Of course, I'm pulling for Sigourney Weaver, the final girl. I'm pulling for them to win, not the aliens. But could this ever come back around where Leah's going to pull for the xenomorph, or maybe she's already pulling for Oculus?
I'm already got Oculus.
Yeah,
I
so
think
who
I
knows?
put my cards on the xenomorph too.
Oh my gosh. Well, you mentioned the one thing I just wanted to add in at the end. I actually don't think Wendy's the final girl.
Oh no.
I think her brother Joe is the final girl.
Ah.
Which is why I was really happy to see him not die at the end of this season. Because I was like, if you really wanted to stab me right in the heart, you would kill off the one character that's just a good dude. And usually, I mean, Lee and I have seen our fair share of horror movies at this point. The good guy always dies. Like, if he's too good, if he's got too good of a heart and he wants to help people and fix babies and all that kind of stuff, he dies. He definitely dies. So I'm kind of just like holding my breath, but hoping that Joe is our final girl.
Nice. I like it. Cool. Well, all right. As we do this wrap up, what we like to do at the end of What's News, all the things we talked about, the things we've seen lately, even Alien Earth, do we have a recommendation? Choose one that we talked about. What would you recommend to our listeners out there to go dive into? Ryan, go first, and you have to bounce here a second.
Yeah. Maybe this is just like what I've been consuming in terms of media, but if you want to get into the higher themes of Alien Earth, a movie I always go back to is Alex Garland's movie Annihilation. I love that movie, and it deals with so many different themes that are both high concept, and it's not an overly raw like action movie. If you want the action of an alien movie, go watch John Carpenter's The Thing. Why are we even like? We shouldn't be discussing that. That shouldn't be a recommendation no one's ever heard. But if you're hearing that for the first time, you haven't seen that movie, go. And it's got ambiguity at the end too. Both those movies deal well with ambiguity. The Alien franchise is good with ambiguity. I think those are both two good recommendations. I would recommend to anybody in any context, but especially in a context where we're talking about the Alien franchise.
Nice. Love it. Evan, what are you recommending, buddy?
What comes to mind when I was hearing you guys talk about it, and I was remembering that Ridley Scott didn't do the second one, and the second original film, and it was James Cameron, and I remember how that one changed its tone and the differences in that. So I say to go see that movie and to just enjoy the different flavors that we have now of this franchise. So it's a pretty cool that we have a solid TV show now.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Yeah, with these big franchises been around a long time, it is like jumping on points and lots of flavors. I think you're right. And there's some of might be your taste. You might like that flavor, or you might be like, I'm gonna go back to what I like over here. But trying new things is always good.
And Ridley Scott just hijacked the whole canon and was like, "Well, I'm gonna tell you,
watch this.
what is actually right about this." You know, it's like all of these, and then it would be like the prequels and Star Wars are the only thing that are considered canon, which would be dangerous.
C canon.
Right. Which right. He kind of hijacked it in a way and was like, well, now if it doesn't fit that narrative.
Like it. Jill, what are you recommending?
This recommendation is for myself too. It is the Predator show. Is it Badlands?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I've heard that they will at some point meet up. Very excited about that.
Oh,
cool.
Really? That sounds fun.
Yeah, I didn't hear that. That is awesome.
That's fun. That's cool.
Coming full circle. Leah, what are you recommending?
Yeah, well, I figured out in the beginning what that awful movie was that they made fun of in the Halloween series, which is H2O, which is such a millennial.
Yes.
I thought it was Halloween millennial, but it's the same ridiculousness that was happening at the time.
Yeah.
It's like Halloween X or whatever.
Jason X.
Right. If you want a ridiculous movie, go watch that. But the one that I really would recommend is the brother in this show, and y'all know I'm terrible with names. Brother to Wendy. Do y'all remember what his name is?
It's Joe. It's Joe, isn't it?
Joe. Okay, Joe.
Yep.
So Joe is in a show that's, I think it's on Netflix, but it's called End of the Effing World. And I think it actually is effing world. It is completely outside of horror. It's an indie flick. It's a weird sort of like journey flick. When he came on the screen, I was like, why do I have an intense feeling of crush on this human? And I said it to my husband, which made for a fantastic conversation.
What's it called?
And it's because of this film. It is a little indie film that could, and it's the characters are great in it, and it's got all the triggers. So just prepare yourself for that.
It's called End of the Effing World.
End of the Effing World, yeah. And it's about this weird guy played by Joe who meets a equally weird girl, and they kind of run away together and things happen. But it's got a great soundtrack. Like if you're in like this sort of independent film world, it's a 10 out of 10.
Nice. Cool. My recommendation, since I'm feeling more human, I've moved up from 7.5 to 8.5, is to find yourself an old school arcade and play the cabinet version of Tron. And see if you can get past level 3. I can't. I can get through 1 and 2 pretty easy. Level 3, I can't. So if you can get through level 3, please reach out to me and teach me how to get that. I can usually get high scored because nobody else can either. But I don't know. That's what I'm going to do. So all these franchises are fun. I love it. They're going to keep going. There's going to be no shortage of geek content in the world to come. That's why we'll be around forever. Systematic Geekology. We're going to help you work through these things and process all there is when it comes to the stuff we geek out on. And I really
when
do
the eyeball comes back and it's a good guy, I would like
you're gonna see like that's right.
All
That's right. Take that, y'all. That guy stood up and walked away. It was the scientist's husband, right? Who like justification.
The eyeball brought back to life for a reason.
That's right. He's gonna help the children who
we'll see.
Well, Jill's skeptical. Thanks, y'all. We're gonna have this outgoing music here and just say thank you for your support. Like, subscribe. Share with your friends. Thank you, support John Augustine. Thank you so much. There's another support. Who else can I think of? Aaron Hardy. Thank you. I appreciate your support for all that you do. There might be some other names out there that say and break the fourth wall and say, thank you, Kevin, for chiming in on the comments. And hop over to Fourth Wall, subscribe. You can find all our stuff there. The episodes, all the stuff is there. I'm really happy that we're at Fourth Wall. It looks pretty cool. And I hope you all feel more human after listening to this or watching this on YouTube. And just know that we are the Priest of the Geeks and we're here for you. When you feel like a human or you feel less than human, you're not alone. Peace, y'all.